Lily's been excellent here at home, and we'll see how he fares on a nice weather day as he starts Emilio Bonifacio with a strike. His first 2 starts here, the game time temperatures were 36 and 45 degrees. And I don't know if the sun ever did come out in those 2 starts. One was the home opener. We're in the low 60s, the wind out of the west, and a beautiful forecast.
And that translates to blowing straight out. When the wind is out of the west, those flags out on center field will be blowing straight out.
Fly ball out into right center. Off power peels off as Kosuke makes a catch. Bonifacio was going to play third today, but about an hour ago the Marlins made a lineup switch, putting him at second. Wes Helms into play third. Dan Uggla is out with a tight left hamstring.
And that Marlins infield defense has been kind of an unsung story of this series so far. They have made several highlight reel defensive plays to keep the Cubs from scoring runs.
Ball 1 on Jeremy Hermida, who was hitless in the first 2 games of the series, but he has walked 6 times. He hangs in there against lefties, has a very good eye, and has worked a 2-0 count. Really has kept lefties in the ballpark. Hermida is the only left-handed hitter in their lineup today. He pulls it foul. Nice move by our good friend Andy Fox, their first base coach, former middle infielder.
Surprised he didn't let it hit him.
Yeah, Andy Fox could get hit by a lot of pitches. He was Fernando Vina-like during his playing days.
Yeah, he really had that down to an art form, Andy Fox. He would turn his upper body away from a pitch, but stick his knee right out in the middle of the strike zone, take one on the outside of the right knee, and jog on down to first base.
Lily's 2-2 pitch is just inside. Ted wanted it. It's a full count, 3-2. Hanley Ramirez, getting his first start since Monday, is on deck. Came in late on Friday. Hermida with a .443 career on base percentage against the Cubs. He has slugged over 600. Deep breath by Lilly. And the next offering is popped up over near third. Fontenot over near the dugout, and then it hits the top of the dugout and bounds out of play.
Very important to note the direction of the wind here at Wrigley Field today. On a lot of days when the wind is blowing across or blowing in, that one would have ended up well up into the bleachers, but with the wind blowing out, it pushed it back to the point where Fontenot nearly had a play.
Another 3-2 pitch, broken bat fly ball down the right field line, foul. Bat pretty much disintegrated. Part of it ended up almost out in the grass, shallow right.
Really battling up there with 2 strikes. Ted Lilly has made some real good pitches on him in this sequence. He's been able just to get a piece to stay alive. Giovanni Soto with a quick visit to the mound to talk to Ted Lilly about how they want to go about executing this 3-2 pitch.
Already 9 pitches in this sequence. We'll keep an eye on the Cardinals and the Nationals. Righties on the mound today. Joel Pinheiro for St. Louis. Shiron Martis for the Nationals. And Martis held the Cardinals scoreless in the top of the first. That one just underway. Swing and a miss. He finally got it. It wasn't easy.
No, it wasn't easy. That was a battling at bat. A slider up in the zone right there, but Ted Lilly took a lot off of that pitch. Normally he throws his slider pretty hard. It almost looks like a cut fastball at times, but that time he just kind of rolled it up there in the middle of the plate and got Hermida way out in front.
Here's Hanley Ramirez, was hit by a pitch on the right wrist, suffered a bruise there. That was Monday. Had to leave the game in the first inning. He entered in the 7th yesterday, walked, and then flied to center. Big rip, and he fouled it back. He is not 100%. I guess he still feels that wrist on every swing.
We talk about the heartless nature of the game of baseball, and when you got a guy up at the plate with a hand or a wrist injury, usually one of the first things you want to do is pound him inside with a fastball, see if he can react quickly.
Inside enough, but Hoffpower will get to it on the warning track for the third out. So they go down 1-2-3, and the Cubs are coming up against righty Anibal Sanchez when we come back. Pinella's Cubs Southwest starting lineup. The Cubs over the last 10 have scored 29 runs in their 3 wins, just 10 runs combined in their 7 losses.
Take a look at the Marlins defensively, brought to you by Home Depot. Hermida, Maben, and Ross across the outfield today. Helms and Ramirez will be on the left side of the infield. Bonifacio and Cantu on the right side. Ronnie Paulino behind the plate for right-hander Anibal Sanchez.
And a 25-year-old righty deals ball 1 to Alfonso Soriano. Sanchez from Maracay, Venezuela, 6 feet 219 pounds, as you mentioned earlier. Some shoulder problems in his career. 2007. The season ended with surgery in June. Came back last year on the final day of July. 3-0.
He'll feature a fastball that'll sit in the high 80s, low 90s, occasionally touching the mid 90s. Curveball, slider, changeup. And in his starts this year, his 4 previous starts, he's had a pattern of saving his changeup till the second time through the order. He'll go fastball, slider to the righties, fastball, curveball, and an occasional changeup to the lefties, but he'll incorporate all his pitches as the game progresses.
His 3-1 to Soriano is hit hard past Ramirez, and a leadoff single for Soriano. That snaps an 0 for 13 for him.
The Cubs had pretty good success in the first 2 games of this series, banging the ball through that hole between third and short. With that in mind, Hanley Ramirez was shading over toward that hole. We'll see how far he is to the pull side, and Soriano goes the other way this time.
There's Terrio, who had the game-winning grand slam. in the bottom of the 6th. Into the streak of 620 homerless at bats. Thought about a bunt, and the pitch missed the zone. 1-0. Yosh Kawano, long-time Cubs clubhouse manager, in attendance today.
You can always recognize him by the hat.
There's another deep drive for Terrio. And gone! 2-run blast for Ryan. His manager wanted him to drive the ball a little bit more, and he has come through. 2-0.
Why is he showing bunt on the first pitch? I don't get it. This is the best power hitter in the Cubs lineup right now. Our Heineken home run replay. And Terrio knew he got it right away. Squared it up right off the barrel of the bat with that little bit of wind blowing out today. No doubt about that one. Showing bunt. Come on.
Kosuke like a leadoff man now, batting third in the order, but nobody out. It's 2 homers in 2 days for Terrio. 9th career home run. He had the 3rd longest drought among active players. Miguel Cairo 788 at bats. Tom Glavine at 787.
He's still over there high-fiving guys. There aren't that many guys in the dugout. I think he doubled up on a couple of his teammates there.
The pitch is low, and it's 3-1.
I'll tell you, Lynn, this is a good formula against Sanchez. He's one of those pitchers. First plate appearance in a game this season, opponents have batted .400. Second plate appearance, it drops down to .212. Third time through the order, .200. You definitely want to get to this guy early, and Ryan Terrio saw to that.
How about this? All of Terrio's career home runs have been here. 9 homers all at Wrigley Field as Fukudome draws the walk. Freddie Sanchez, the manager of the Marlins. Here's Lee batting cleanup. So when the Cubs score first, they're 7-3. When they get to 4 runs or more, they're 11-1. They score 3 or fewer, they haven't won yet. 0-10. So 4 seems to be the magic number early on. It's still early, but it's a little surprising. A team that has such excellent starting pitching hasn't won, you know, a 3-2 or 2-1 game through the first 22. Ball strike, 1-2.
What was that term you used yesterday? Revert to the norm, or
regression to the mean?
Regression to the mean. I think over the course of the season, you'll see the starting pitching start to win some of those close ball games. You'll see the offense come up with some big knocks to win the close games.
Kosuke trying to run, and he gets in. Derek took a called 3rd strike and didn't like the call by Fielding Culbreth. So 1 out in the inning. And Fukudome now 2 steals. He's been caught 3 times. Boy, pitch looked up, didn't it?
Pitch looked way up. Bonifacio slow getting to the bag at second base for the Marlins. Got there the same time as the ball and the runner. Look at that pitch. That's letter high. You don't see that pitch called a strike very often.
Off power getting into the lineup. Lou wanted to get him back in there, so Milton Bradley gets the day off, and Hoffpauir is playing right. Micah looked comfortable in right the first time out there this year, and then he had a game at the end of the last homestand in which he struggled. Everything's going to be pushed back toward fair territory today. Saw Helms go way into foul ground and then have to back up a little bit with the wind howling. 2 outs.
Kind of turned around a little bit more, blowing across from the left field corner to the right field corner. The game began, the flags were blowing straight out.
Well, Ramos getting another day. There was some thought about him getting the start this afternoon, but instead it's Fontenot, so maybe tomorrow for Ramirez with the calf injury. He did pinch hit on Friday. One and one the count.
That stolen base against Ronnie Paulino by Kosuke Fukudome was the 14th in 16 attempts against Ronnie Paulino this year.
Paulino thought about throwing as Kosuke had a healthy secondary lead, but the ball popped out of his mitt.
I think that was a design pickoff play. Ramirez had broken in behind Fukudome at second base, and Paulino was coming out of the chute ready to throw and just lost the handle on the baseball.
Base hit to center. Kosuke coming around. Here's the throw by Maven. It'll be cut off by Cantu. 3-0.
Hanging breaking ball up and out over the plate. Somewhere Skip Bertman has to be very, very happy right now. His 2 LSU Tigers contributing 3 RBI here in the first inning for the Cubs.
Throw to first. Giovanni Soto with 99 career RBIs. Inside, 1 ball, no strikes. Sanchez keeping a close watch on Fontenot after Fukudome earlier stole second. Cubs have done a nice job the first 2 innings outscoring their opponents by a pretty wide margin. 16-7 in the first inning. You see them jump out to an early advantage. It got jammed, and it's going to drop down for a hit. Fontenot will end up at third. That's the 4th hit of the inning.
Cody Ross playing extremely deep out there in right field for Giovanni Soto. He gets jammed by that fastball up and in, and because Ross was playing so deep, it drops in front safely for a base hit.
Mark Wiley, the Florida pitching coach, heading out.
time I see that gray catcher's gear, it reminds me of Mike LaValliere, who used to be a catcher for the Pittsburgh Pirates, and he wore gray gear on the road. And Mike LaValliere was a squatty little guy. He always looked like a galvanized trash can. But Ronnie Paulino is so big, he looks more like some kind of a robot or something. Metallic look about it.
Yeah. I think he had that look in Pittsburgh too. He wore that road gray.
Gray mask, gray pads on the mask, gray shin guards.
You love it when the starting pitcher at least jumps into the on-deck circle in the first inning. Lilly is there behind Miles. Tough day for Miles yesterday. Had 2 hits taken away at third by Emilio Bonifacio. A couple of line shots. He did walk and score on the Terrio grand slam, but went 0 for 3. The kick and the pitch. Bouncer to Cantu, and he'll reverse field and step on the bag to end the inning. But the Cubs get 3, the first 2 on their power guy. Ryan Terrio with a 2-run homer. Fontenot with an RBI. It's 3-0. Cub fans all looking at the photos they took with Bob Brenly before the game.
Yeah.
Ted Lilly facing Jorge Cantu, who's been red hot, and pops it up.
Coming back.
Be a play on it. Soto gets it.
Time you can retire Jorge Cantu with 1 pitch, the way he's been swinging the bat lately. You gotta love that. Giovanni Soto coming back right in front of the good seats to make the play.
Exclusive limited edition Cubs Go Diego Go 7-inch plush dolls handed out to the first 6,000 children in the ballpark, 7 and under. You have a fake ID or something? Because I see you have one. How did you get one?
I'm sure the kids will enjoy Go Diego Go.
Paulino lifts it into center, and it's Fukudome. So 3 pitches and 2 outs. Here we go. Ticket sales are at a record pace, but plenty of tickets are still available for the 2009 season. To purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com, call 1-800-THE-CUBS, or visit the Wrigley Field box office. Wes Helms getting the late nod to jump into the lineup at third, with Ugla out at second. He's become a really good pinch hitter. It's kind of been his main role. He's made starts at both corner spots on the infield.
4 for 8 as a pinch hitter off Freddie Gonzalez's bench this year.
Got a piece of the ball and the catcher, Giovanni Soto.
And you know, Len, I'm a big fan of veteran guys on the bench. It's such a tough role to be a part-time player, pinch hitter. You may go days between at bats, and then you finally get one, and it's against the other team's closer. And I just think sometimes the veteran players, maybe on the downside of their career, are a little better suited to handle that role with the team.
Swung on and missed. Ted Lilly with a 7-pitch second inning. He's retired the first 6, 3-0 Cubs. Greg Maddux, as their number 31 will be retired tomorrow. You can get a commemorative scorecard wrap for just $2 here at the ballpark, and get here early. Special ceremony at 12:40 as the Cubs will retire number 31. The first 5,000 fans to enter the ballpark, as well as the first 100 fans to enter a Best Buy store on May 16th, will get a replica print of the paintings that will be presented to Fergie and Greg, courtesy of Best Buy. Scorecard model all of a sudden.
Did a very nice job.
1 strike to Ted Lilly.
You have a future on The Price is Right, pointing at the items.
1-1. Ted's been really good on the mound early, and his teammates have given him a 3-0 lead against Anibal Sanchez. Swing and a miss, 1-2. Ted doesn't hang around too much there in the box, does he? Body parts flying all over the place on his swings. He hits it foul to stay alive. Does have a hit in 7 tries on the season.
I think Ted Lilly really enjoys getting on base. I don't think it's so much he enjoys hitting. He'd take a walk, he'd get hit by pitch. He loves to run the bases. We've seen him bouncing around down there at first base like he wants to steal second. Of course, we saw him bowl over Yadier Molina at home plate last year. Just needs to figure out a way to get on first base a little more often.
Here's Soriano, got it started with a single. I really like the fact that the last 2 days Soriano's getting on base for Theriot to hit the home run.
Bizarro world.
He got hit in the helmet by Todd Wellemeyer in St. Louis. Fortunately, was able to stay in. Swing and the miss. 1-1. Swinging bunt. Sanchez gets the out. The spark plug.
Yeah, Lou would probably say if I knew it was that easy, I would have told him to start driving the ball a long time ago.
The Menards' big lumber stat. Theriot hitting homers in consecutive games for the first time in his major league career.
That was actually a pretty nice play by Sanchez on that little squibber off the bat of Soriano. Sanchez has had his defensive problems out there on the mound. 38 games started in the major leagues. He's made 8 errors, most of them on fielding bunt plays or comebackers to the mound. Oh, look at that. Very nice.
Ivy is starting to arrive. The best spot right now is just to the left of straightaway center. I believe gets the most sun, most direct sunlight. In front of the juniper bushes. Fly ball into right center, trying to split the gap here, and he's going to do it. It's going to roll all the way to the wall. In fact, Theriot making the turn will end up with a triple.
Oh, my. Got the 2 toughest legs of the cycle in his first 2 at-bats in the first 2 innings today. Second triple of the year for Ryan Theriot. That was actually a fastball belt high on the inside part of the plate. That's the inside outswing we're used to seeing from Ryan Theriot, but perfectly splits that gap in right center field. Right there, he dropped that left shoulder down to allow him to turn that bag aggressively at second base and made it into third easily.
I know he has the 2 hardest ones for the cycle, but I don't know if he can hit a single and a double. I mean, this is a home run triples guy. That's his second triple of the year. It's 2-0 on Kosuke. 2 outs in the inning. Paulino will go out and chat with Sanchez.
Well, Paulino tried to catch that ball behind the plate. It looked very odd, like maybe he got crossed up a little bit. He turned his glove over with the fingers down, and ball hit him up near the heel of the glove. Looked like he got fooled by the pitch. Watch how Paulino reacts to this pitch. It's got caught by surprise. Maybe the pitch didn't break the direction. Sometimes a breaking ball, if you overthrow it, will not take the break the way you want it to, but that looked more like a cross-up.
They're just going to give him ball 4. So Fukudome has now walked twice. So that'll set it up for Derek Lee. Hey, Cub fans, you can get a full meal for under $5 thanks to McDonald's Appetite Stimulus Package. A hot sandwich, a cold drink, and delicious fries, all for under $5. Sounds good. Took a questionable call third strike his first time up as Fukudome was stealing second. Cabrera comes in hitting well under 200 versus righties. Will not face Josh Johnson, who has a 2.60 ERA through 5 starts. They will get Ricky Nolasco tomorrow. Pucadome running, and Paulino is going to throw to third instead. Kosuke with his second steal. He's now 3 for 6 on the year.
The Cubs offensively just don't feel that Ronnie Paulino can throw them out at second base. Sanchez is fairly quick to home plate. I think this is an instance where they're running more on the catcher than they are on the pitcher.
They've picked their spots well. You don't want to run into outs on a day like this with the wind blowing out. Take away RBI chances. 2-1 to Lee. Low and outside. Off power. Watching the festivities from the on-deck circle. Here's a 3-1. Big cut, he missed it.
Little sign of a grimace there from Derek Lee. That's usually when hitters feel any aches and pains that they may have, is on a swing and a miss.
The 3-2 hit foul. Sanchez is over 50 pitches. We're only in the second. I could hear Mike screaming from way up here. Another 3-2 to Lee. And he struck him out swinging to end the inning. 2-out triple, then the intentional walk, but no runs. The Cubs, however, lead 3-0 after 2. Will battle Ray Allen and the Celtics. It's a Game 7 showdown in Boston. Coverage starts with Bulls pregame live. Bulls Celtics Game 7 tonight at 7 on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend. Arguably the most exciting playoff series in NBA history. I know it's a first rounder, but man, oh man. (2-0) on Cody Ross getting his first at bat. Cameron Maben, and then the pitcher Sanchez called strike. 2-1. Lilly's 2-1 pitch. Ross has reacted the last two pitches like they were both way inside, and they both were strikes.
Trying to influence home plate umpire Field and Culberth into believing that those pitches were inside off the plate, when indeed they were both right on the corner.
Go back in there again. Swings this time and lofts it into right. It's Hoffpower. 1 out. Cubs will not face the big unit when the Giants come in. They will see Tim Lincecum in the second game of that series, but Randy Johnson with his 297th career win came last night over the Rockies in San Francisco. Giants are playing much better ball after starting the year 2-7. Cued by Maben. Lilly over to first very quickly, but he couldn't beat him. Ted got there, but Maben runs extremely well. Like they both got there simultaneously, and that'll be the first Marlins hit.
And I think if he had to do over again, Derek Lee would probably let Aaron Miles take that ball and go back and cover first base. It wasn't hit very hard at all. That's one of the toughest plays for a first baseman, when you have to throw.
Ted gets stepped on. And Lou is not going to go to Lilly. He's going to go over to the first base umpire, Brian Knight, first. And Lou is not happy. And again, our replay indicated that he was out. Light freeze can.
Right there you see Ted Lilly's right foot on the bag, ball in the glove. Maben has yet to make contact with first base. Granted, a very, very close play, but it looked like Ted had his man.
But he's fine.
He didn't even want to throw any extra warm-up pitches. He said he's good to go.
Instead, he throws over to first, and it's a balk because you have to be on the bag as a defender, and Derek was ready to charge for the bunt.
You have to be on the bag or going back to the bag. You can't be evacuating the base when that pitcher throws over. That's just a fundamental mistake right there on the part of Ted Lilly. I believe in an obvious sacrifice bunt situation, pitchers are told you do not throw to first base unless you get the sign. Everybody has to be on the same page. If not, that's what happens.
It's picked up in foul ground by Fontenot.
In any other situation, pitcher has the freedom to throw over to first base whenever he feels like it, but in an obvious sacrifice bunt situation with the pitcher at the plate, Derek Lee wants to get as big a jump off of first base as possible to try to field the bunt. And it's very important that the pitcher not throw over there unless everybody knows he's going to first base.
A little surprised they're bunting with 1 out. They move a guy to third with 2 outs. Called strike. Although Sanchez a career 071 hitter, so it's Freddie Gonzalez deciding he'd rather take a base here than probably a strikeout. Squares again. Called strike 3 on the nasty curveball.
Say hello to my Uncle Charlie. Big curveball there. You rarely see a right-handed hitter knee buckle on a curveball, especially when he's up there to bunt. But hey, Sanchez really got fooled by that big curve.
Bonifacio flied to center to lead off the game. First base runner for the Marlins in scoring position. A foul strike. Lilly, a long look at Maben. Now he comes to the plate. Bonifacio was late on that fastball in the upper 80s. What a game late last night in Los Angeles. The Padres and the Dodgers were scoreless into the bottom of the ninth, and Russell Martin took a 3-2 pitch off the plate. He barely checked his swing. Game over. Bases loaded walk with 2 outs to end it.
Walk-off walk.
A walk-off walk. They're 8-0 at home. Foul tip, strike 3. So the infield single did not cost Lilly and the Cubs. They still lead 3-0 as he picks up his 4th strikeout of the day. Nice day, especially in the sun. Maybe long sleeves in the shade. As Michael Hoffbauer starts the bottom of the 3rd by rolling 1 foul.
See, you noticed what those guys were wearing. I noticed the pizza on his lap. That was a pretty good looking slice of za there.
Pepperoni. That'll work. Solid single for Hoffbauer. For individual health insurance from a name you can trust, call Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois at 866-575-BLUE. Helms is in at 3rd, guarding against a bunt. Fontenot took it for a strike. We heard Cubs account executive Piper Mead is recovering. Appendicitis, is that?
That's what we heard.
You understand, Piper? We hope you're feeling better. I've been there. I know what that's like. Not that much fun, but get your rest and get you back out at the ballpark soon.
Stolen bases by Kosuke Fukudome in this ball game, causing the Marlins to pay a lot of attention to the Cubs base runners. Michael Hoffpauir isn't a guy that figures to straight steal a base. Lou might play hit and run with Mike Fontenot at the plate. And anytime you can distract that pitcher, get the defense thinking about the base runner, it enhances that hitter's chances of getting a mistake.
Throw to first. 0-2 on Fontenot. Knocked in a run in the opening inning. Marlins set up in double play depth up the middle. And the pitch is outside. For ball one. 1-2. Sanchez was acquired from the Red Sox, along with Hanley Ramirez and a couple of other pitchers. Right-handers Jesus Delgado and Harvey Garcia for Josh Beckett, Mike Lowell, and Guillermo Mota. And pitch out. Hoffpauir was not running.
The wheels are spinning. It's a merit badge for Michael Hoffpauir, a guy that normally doesn't run much. When you force the other team to throw a pitch out, that's as good as a stolen base.
Gone to 3-2 after an 0-2 start. Soto getting his batting gloves ready. Hoffpauir goes this time. It's taken for ball 4.
Sigh by Freddie Gonzalez over in that first base dugout. A breaking ball and a 3-2 count to Mike Fontenot for ball 4. Tell you, that wind blowing out at Wrigley Field will cause pitchers to get away from what seems to be the right pitch to throw. 3-2 count to Mike Fontenot. Usually you would think challenge him with a fastball, make him put the ball in play. But then you turn around, look over your shoulders and see those flags blowing straight out. You start thinking a little bit, decided to go with the breaking ball and walked it.
Downstairs to Soto. Cubs with at least one hit in each of the first 3. Also at least one walk. Or rather exactly one walk each inning.
You know, Len, we talk all the time how a catcher can make a pitch look better than it really is. Ronnie Paulino makes this one look worse than it really was. Guy pushes that ball down and out of the strike zone. Even if it was a borderline strike low at the knees, you're not going to get the call from the home plate umpire when your glove ends up down in the dirt.
You talked a lot about keeping the glove outside the pitch, right?
Try to
in
always
terms of the zone.
Catch around the ball so that every time you're receiving it, you're pushing it back toward the middle of the plate rather than away from the middle of the plate. Now, granted, a lot of pitchers have late movement on their pitches, and sometimes you just get handcuffed and have to do whatever you can to knock the ball down.
Diving stop. Wes Helms gets 1 and 2 from his knees. He starts an around the horn 5-4-3 double play. More stellar defense from the Marlins infield.
You thought with Wes Helms at third base today, a guy not known for his defensive prowess, maybe they would stop making these highlight reel plays, but really nice double play by the Marlins. And Mike Fontenot maybe could have done a little more out there at second base to disrupt that relay throw. He slid short of the bag and didn't really make contact with Bonifacio until he made his throw to first base.
They will intentionally walk Miles to face Ted Lilly. They had a 3-ball count on Fukudome earlier, and number 4 was intentional. That made the walk intentional. And Miles now reaching. Kosuke, by the way, first time in his career he's had 2 steals in the same game. And both coming after those walks. Sanchez has had the type of day we have talked about a lot regarding the Cubs starting pitchers. Clearly doesn't have his best stuff. He's already down 3-0, but good pitchers at least give their team a chance. His last start was his worst one. He gave up 6 runs in 6 innings. And everything came early, and the same has happened again today. All 3 in the first. Ball to right, and it's deep. Ross is going back on it, and he can't make the play. Hoffpauir scores. Miles chugging hard. He's in. Ted Lilly with a 2-run double.
Held high fastball, middle of the plate. Look at Ted Lilly. It was Babe Ruth impersonation up there at the plate. Banged that ball off the wall in right field to drive home a couple of teammates. Hey, talk about helping yourself out.
Well, that's huge. Ted just didn't look very good this first at bat, and they intentionally walked the 8-hitter to get to him this time, and he cranked it. I think it's interesting, you know, he's a fly ball pitcher. He's a fly ball hitter too. That loopy swing, he cranked it. Now some action. And the Marlins pen. Hayden Penn left with an ankle injury yesterday. And he's ready to go today if needed.
I mean, you know, Len, I don't think you can discount the fact that the Cubs have very athletic pitchers that like to do other things to help themselves win a game. Ted Lilly likes to swing the bat. He loves to run the bases very aggressively. We know Zambrano can hit with anybody in the league. He loves to run the bases. Rich Harden is extremely fast when he gets on base. Over the course of the season, that's going to win you a few extra ball games, as opposed to a guy that is comfortable out there on that dirt circle in the middle of the infield, but everything else is foreign to him.
To Soriano, a swing and a miss. Yeah, Ryan Dempster said the other day, looking at all the pitcher stats, everybody saying we got to get it going here. Zambrano almost hit for the cycle, and Lilly with a big hit.
Big RBI double, but he's really been delivering out there on the mound today. 4 strikeouts in the early going. He's thrown 34 pitches, 28 of them for strikes. Jimmy John's America's favorite sandwich delivery guys.
This is how Tad warms up between innings. He plays catch for the first 2 tosses before he gets up on the rubber. Now, do those count as pitches? I would think they would.
I would assume they do. I never had a pitcher that warmed up that way, but I think that's just to get Ted in the habit of really extending and reaching out there, throwing that ball an extra 10 or 12 feet toward home plate, and when he gets up on the mound and takes advantage of that slope, uses that same extension, that's when he gets that good life on his pitches in the hitting zone.
Lou said after the game yesterday that they might have Carlos Marmol intentionally bounce some breaking balls in the bullpen before he pitches to get him to think being over top the ball. He showed his arm angle yesterday. He's been getting under everything, and we probably won't see him in action today after working 3 straight. 1-2 pitch. Hermida pops it foul off to the right and into the seats. Kevin Gregg has been busy but is available in a safe spot. Lilly has the sign he wants. Looks like a fastball away, and it's a little up. 2-2. Scoreless in Washington. Cardinals and Nationals. Top of the 5th. Albert Pujols getting the day off. Chris Duncan is in at first base. They don't have a hit through 4 against Sharon Martis. Hermida went around. That's a strikeout. 5 for Lilly. As we get into today's Aflac trivia question. Can you name the National League and American League record holder for most home runs to lead off a game in a single season?
Can you? I know I can't. I would have a guess.
I think I know. The way the question is phrased, it could be 2 different people. National League, American League, single season, leadoff home runs. I remember a couple of years ago, one guy in particular in the ballpark had a huge September in that department. I think he might have done it with the Yankees a few years before that too. We'll see. Hanley Ramirez was an elite leadoff hitter, but he's now batting 3rd in the Florida lineup. He bulked up over the winter, added a bunch of muscle, and one of the keys was to improve the strength of his surgically repaired left shoulder. Was operated on in October of '07. One great question in this game is, if you had one player to build a franchise around or build a team around, who would you pick? I think Hanley Ramirez's name would come up a lot. Hoffpauir lays out and catches it. Nicely done by Micah. Good backup by Kosuke in case it got by him. Know if it was going to hold up enough.
You know, Len, you talked about that game last week and the inclement conditions here when Micah Hoffpauir had some issues out there in right field, and I think he was really a little tentative. There's nothing tentative about this play. He committed to that diving catch coming straight in from his position in right field, and nice job. It's just like a pitcher has to commit to a pitch in order to execute it successfully. An outfielder needs to commit to make a play. And you pointed out that Fukudome got over there quickly to back up that play. We probably don't say it enough, but he does a great job of that from his position in center field. We see him backing up Soriano on balls hit the left field. We saw him on that play backing up Micah Hoffpower. The center fielder does a lot more than just catch the balls that are hit to him. He's got to cover a lot of ground backing up the guys to his right and his left.
The 1-1 to Cantu. Comebacker single. And it brings up Paulino. 6 for 11 versus Lilly, even after the 0 for 1 this afternoon.
Jorge Cantu might be the best hitter that nobody knows about. He's all over the leaderboard in the offensive categories in the National League. His .358 average coming in today was third in the National League. His 7 home runs were third. 24 RBIs, second. This guy can hit.
Probably a better defensive position for him at first. And he moved over from third.
Well, we talked about him throughout the first 2 games of this series. He's a dead fastball hitter, but you saw when he sees a breaking ball or an off-speed pitch hanging up high in the zone, he can stay on that pitch and drive it center field and the other way, just like he did against Ted Lilly. Granted, we're seeing Cantu in the midst of an extreme hot streak, and I'm sure there will be periods this season when he doesn't look as good as he has here against the Cubs.
Called strike 3 to end the inning. 3 of the first 4 innings, Ted with a strikeout to end the inning. 5-0 Cubs. Question. The NL and AL record holder for most homers to lead off a game in a single season. I'll go with Alfonso Soriano for both.
Yeah, seems like Ricky Henderson ought to be in the mix somewhere. Well, there you go. Good guess.
Terrio with a 2-run homer and a triple. What's next? At some point, he's going to just shoot one past Cantu and into right, you would think.
That's the kind of base hit we're used to seeing from Ryan Terrio.
We've done this graphic a lot. over the years. Mark Grace, the last Cub to hit for the cycle. We mentioned it the other day when Carlos Zambrano almost had one final at bat with a chance for the cycle. But again, Ryan's still 2 hits away from that milestone.
But he is getting his 3rd at bat in the ball game in the 4th inning. So he may have a few more whacks at it.
The line in the 2-2 pitch is a called strike 3. He got him on a breaking ball.
And just in case you haven't been paying attention, Fielding Culbreth is going to call the high strike today. We saw Derek Lee get rung up on a high fastball. Ryan Theriot here getting rung up on a high breaking ball. The last out of the inning, Ronnie Paulino for the Marlins. High pitch.
Now for me, it's not a high pitch based on what the strike zone's supposed to be, but I don't think a lot of umpires call that pitch.
You're absolutely right. According to the definition of the strike zone in the rule book, it probably is a strike. But according to what is the norm for major league umpires, it's usually not called a strike up that high.
Now, having said that, it's pretty clear the batters have to know that that will be called. Lined and caught by Hanley Ramirez. 2 outs. Hit hard by Fukudome.
You know, one phrase we always hear, Len, and I've used it myself in the past, and the more I thought about it, I don't like it anymore. Well, at least he's consistent. At least the umpire's consistent. Well, does that mean if he calls a strike on a pitch that hits the top of the backstop and he calls it every time, is that okay?
Derek Lee drives it way out of here. How far will it go?
Whoa.
Hello, Waveland. That had to feel good. It's been a tough day, a tough season so far for D. Lee. His 2nd home run, which struck out in his first 2 at-bats today. It's 6-0.
Wow, it might be the longest home run we've seen here at Wrigley this year. Our Heineken home run replay. No doubt about it. The only question was the ballpark going to hold it at all? Sailed over the bleachers in left center field, out onto Waveland Avenue.
That is a first ball to get onto Waveland or Sheffield during a game this season. It was Hoffpower who hit one to the back of the concourse behind the bleachers in right, but it bounced back towards the field. Yeah, you make a good point about consistency. If it's consistently bad,
yeah,
it doesn't make it good.
The catcher sits over in the other batter's box and pitcher hits his glove and the umpire calls it. It doesn't make it a strike.
But I think the point of at least he's consistent is that's better than call the high strike for one guy and not for the other.
Right. Michael Hoffpower is a guy that you might need to get your tape measure out for a few times this year. When he catches a ball with full extension, he can hit him as far as anybody on this roster.
The blast for Derek Lee is first since his other homer on April 15th and his 260th career homer. Hoffpower has had a good day both ways. 2 for 3 at the plate now.
Sometimes you just got to go down and dig him out. Michael Hoffpower got fooled just a little bit, but extends his swing, goes down and hits that low pitch into right field like a bullet.
This is nothing against right-handed batters, but a swing like that from a lefty is such a pretty swing, isn't it? Fontenot will be retired by Cameron Maybin. Derek Lee giving one of the ball hawks on Waveland a souvenir. with his second homer of the year. Cubs second of the game. They lead 6-0.
Want to show the world it's not like, it's love. Get MLB banking only from Bank of America.
Ballpark looks spectacular. Opened in 1914 for baseball. Cubs have made Wrigley Field their home since 1916. Only Fenway Park is older among current ballparks. One strike on Wes Helms. Well, talking about the stolen base issue for Ted Lilly, I think the best way to stop it is to have a big lead and not let guys get on base. That's what's happened.
Yeah, that definitely works. Any team that comes to Wrigley Field, when they see the flags blowing out, it tends to slow down the running game. You just don't want to take a chance of running yourself out of an inning when the next pitch may end up out on Waveland or Sheffield Avenue. So that's a little bit of a deterrent as well.
Golfed high in the air to center. Kosuke puts it away. The Chicago Cubs strongly encourage the use of public transportation. The CTA Red Line stops directly at Wrigley Field at the Addison station. For drivers, DeVry University offers remote parking and bus service for just $6. For more details, visit Cubs.com or call the CTA hotline at 773-836-7000. Adam Dunn with a 3-run homer. The Nationals lead 4-0 over St. Louis as Cody Ross has just put Florida on the board. That's to the back of the bleachers. It's 6-1, his 4th home run of the year.
Cub fans may remember that start that Ted Lilly had down in Houston earlier this year. He was spotted to a big lead by his offense and did give up some home runs in that game, mostly solo home runs. I mean, you never intend to just lay the ball over the middle of the plate and let the other team whack it out of the ballpark, but managers and pitching coaches would much prefer that you throw strikes and force the other team to swing the bats rather than walk guys and nibble around and run up that pitch count when you've got a lead in the ball game.
Maben 1 for 1. Trying to bunt his way on. The ball came back up and hit him, and it's called a foul ball. If he were out of the batter's box, he would have been called out. I should say if he's in fair territory, more specifically, he would have been out. But yeah, he still had.
Yeah, the left foot was still well within the batter's box as he was starting his trip down that first base line and was ultimately hit by the ball.
Almost 18 innings of work here at Wrigley for Ted Lilly. And that home run, the first earned run he has allowed. Only an unearned run in his first 2 starts. That's how good he has been in this ballpark. Brett Carroll is on deck, which will end the day of Anibal Sanchez. Lilly's 1-2 pitch. Gets off the mound quickly and will underhand to Lee.
Ted Lilly's now surrendered 6 home runs in the 09 season, 5 of them solo shots. Displays another aspect of his game here. Gets off the mound quickly. The shovel toss on to Derek Lee to get the speedy Cameron Maben at first base.
Another rough day for Sanchez. He's now given up 6 runs in each of his last 2 starts. He went just 4 innings. So it's Carroll, the pinch hitter. Strike 1. Happy birthday to Lily Griffiths. She turned 10 today, and her favorite Cub is Ted Lilly, of course.
Of course.
Also, happy birthday to Aaron Regans. Celebrating his birthday with Kara and Christian here at the ballpark. Hi, Lily. That's from Dad, Win, right behind us. Good camera operators here at Wrigley Field. A ball and 2 strikes to Carroll. Ted coming back. Hoff power again on the move. We'll head to the bottom of the 5th. All Cubs in game 3 of this 4-gamer. 6-1. Cubs, and it's been all about Ryan Theriot and Ted Lilly, who's not only pitched a great ball game, but he's pitched in with the bat too.
Well, you help yourself whenever you can. We talked about it earlier in the ball game. Ted Lilly loves to run the bases. He loves to swing the bat. He loves to field his position, and contributed in every aspect today.
So 6-1, the Cubs trying to add on at the bottom of the order at the plate. Hayden Penn is back after leaving yesterday with a sprained right ankle. Swing and a miss, a ball and 2 strikes. It was a lot of work for Sanchez to get through the 4 innings that he completed. Took him 91 pitches. Called strike 3. Always great to check in on the Menards grounds crew, smoothing out the infield dirt between innings.
We know those guys are thankful for a little sunlight and dry weather. They've been working real hard in the early going this season, keeping this field in great playing shape, dealing with the elements. You got to believe they love that sunshine as much as we do.
One 1-0 on Miles. And a contact hitter. Not a lot of strikeouts or walks. And really the kind of guy you need to see a lot to appreciate. He's not big in physical stature. Nothing he does jumps out at you immediately. Has to work very hard for everything he gets. And it's almost caught by Bonifacio, but he just missed it.
And the one thing for me that does jump out about Aaron Miles is we get another look at Bonifacio using that speed defensively to very nearly make a catch way down in the bullpen. But for Aaron Miles, I've been really impressed, number one, by how quickly he turns double plays at second base, and number two, how willing he is to hang in there and take a hit from the base runner. He has turned some outstanding double plays in the early going this season.
Like it. Confident showing his colors. And Miles on cue with a base hit.
Hey fans, watch the Cubs take on the Giants this Monday at 7:05. Be sure to arrive early. The first 10,000 fans will receive a Cubs drawstring bag, compliments of Van Campen.
Lilly with a 2-run double to make it 5-0 back in the 3rd inning. He squares to bunt and pulled it back, ball 1. They all have at least one hit except for Kosuke, and he's reached twice on walks. Sneaking in at 3rd, 2-1.
I used to like this situation as a hit and run. You got the defense charging, expecting the bunt from Ted Lilly. Fair speed on the bases. Feel Ted Lilly could make contact. Good time to play a little hit and run. He was swinging that time, however, took the pitch for a called strike. Anytime you can take advantage of a broken up defense. You had Helms charging from 3rd. You had Ramirez breaking over to second base. You had Bonifacio breaking to first base. Cantu was charging. There were holes all over the infield.
as they called strike 3. So Lilly never did offer at any of those pitches. Back to the top, and Soriano. Good split there with the on-base percentage, well above the batting average. There goes Miles. Steal number 3 for the Cubs today.
There's no question Ronnie Paulino was in the lineup for his bat. Very deliberate in unloading this ball to second base. Miles didn't get the greatest jump, but the throw's in the dirt. Slides in safely as the ball gets away from the second baseman down there. It's a calculated risk for a manager when you put a catcher behind the plate so you can get his bat in the lineup, knowing full well that defensively you may be a little worse off than if you played your other guy. But it's strictly a case of the matchups today. Ronnie Paulino has had good success against left-handed pitching, so he's in there today against Ted Lilly.
I noticed he's wearing sunglasses under the mask. Is that something you ever did?
No, I can't say that I ever did. Nowadays, they also have an insert that fits inside the mask itself to provide a little screen from the sun on those bright day games. I used to wear a helmet like that. Although I did wear glasses under the catcher's mask in Double-A for a full season in 1978 down in Shreveport, Louisiana, with the heat and humidity. I needed windshield wipers on those glasses.
Two-one on Soriano. Miles in scoring position. And we'll wait an extra few seconds before this next one. Is there a bug or a bee flying around? The home plate umpire Fielding Culbreth has that look like, get out of here. 2-2. Assuming a bee doesn't sting you, I guess if they're flying around would be a sign of spring and summer. Kick in the 2-2 pitch. Helms up with it. So the Cubs draw a blank for only the second time through the first 5. They lead 6-1. Vancouver Canucks. Coverage begins with Chevy Blackhawks pregame live. Blackhawks Canucks game 2 tonight at 7:30 on Comcast Sportsnet Plus. Fans' best friend. There will also be an official Chicago Blackhawks City Road Watch tonight at the Captain Morgan Club right outside Wrigley Field, corner of Addison and Sheffield. So stop on by tonight as the Hawks try to even up that best-of-7 series before they head home for games 3 and 4. We also want to send out happy birthday wishes for our good friend Jay Blunt, formerly with the Cubs, running the business operations with the Blackhawks.
Do we know how old Jay is?
58? No.
That sounds about right.
3 or 4? 5. Happy birthday, Jay.
Yes, indeed.
Feeling my cell phone's going to be ringing any moment. Theriot can't get it as Bonifacio has a broken bat leadoff single. They have the leadoff man on for the first time.
We'll see how aggressive the Marlins are going to be, trailing by 5 runs in the ball game. If they're going to run, Bonifacio would figure to be the guy. Oh,
man.
That shattered. Bonifacio ended up holding just a piece of the handle. The barrel and everything else goes back and hits Giovanni Soto in the mask.
It's fortunate that the other end of that bat didn't club him in the head. It could have been a lot worse.
I don't want to think about it.
Nothing in 1 to Hermida. Bonifacio runs really well, 6 for 6 in the stolen base department, but their team down 5. They haven't had a lot of chances with runners on base. Really has handled Hermida so far. Long look at the runner coming to the plate. It's low.
We saw that broken bat of Bonifacio hit Giovanni Soto in the mask back there. I think the big difference between the bats that the players use nowadays, a lot of guys using maple bats. And back in the day, everything was made out of white ash. When a maple bat breaks, it explodes. Pieces fly everywhere. You see the barrel of the bat go all the way to the outfield sometimes. The old white ash bats, they would break, but they would stay intact. The bat would be broken, but it wouldn't fly apart into pieces. I'm not sure the reason for that. I'm sure we could ask Chuck Shupp from Louisville Slugger, and he'd be able to explain it to us. But certainly these new, the maple bats, the thin handles, the big barrels, we have seen bats flying all over Major League fields the last couple of years.
And MLB has studied this issue very diligently. I think they basically have taken every broken bat to do some sort of autopsy on it and find out the reason that they're shattering the way they are. And I know they've tried to catalog all the bats a lot better.
I'm sure some of it has to do with the amount of moisture that's in the bat itself. The drier the bat, the more likely it is to break.
I think also kind of the way the grain is on the bat too. And I don't know specifically the process, but I think part of what they're trying to do is maybe look at certain bats and go, this one's much more likely to break, and maybe not use that bat, which would make sense. Or more likely to shatter, like you said, not necessarily break.
I believe I told the story last year, and occasionally it has to do with just the way the batter holds the bat. As you get into the contact area and you hit the baseball, you want it to be with the grain, not against the grain. When you hit a baseball, I don't care what kind of bat you use, against the grain, it's much more likely to break.
3-2 pitch, and Hermida has struck out 3 times swinging.
again, Ted Lilly taking a lot off that slider down low and away. That's how he got Hermida back in the first inning. That prolonged at bat, I think a 10 or 11 pitch at bat. Hermida just kept fouling pitches off until Ted Lilly finally took a lot off that slider, got him way out in front, just like he did here in the sixth. Well, we had a player with the Diamondbacks who later played here with the Cubs briefly, Tony Womack. Fine shortstop, great base stealer. He used to break 3 bats a game, and we could never figure out why until we watched him closely in batting practice one day. And the way he was holding the bat, he was constantly making contact against the grain of the bat. But that's what felt comfortable to him. He didn't like to see the trademark as he got the bat into the hitting zone, and unfortunately broke a lot of bats.
Bonifacio at first, Ramirez at the plate. Lilly's going to throw over. Had charged with a balk earlier when he threw to first, but Derek Lee was coming off the bag to guard against the bunt after signals crossed. Hermida hasn't been successful in terms of getting on base today, but he's seen about almost a third of the pitches thrown by Ted Lilly, 22 of the first 74.
Well, fortunately for Ted Lilly, the rest of this Marlins lineup has been very aggressive against him today. If you have 2 or 3 or 4 guys in the lineup putting together those kind of at-bats, it's going to be a short day for a starting pitcher. He's going to run his pitch count up to the point where the manager's going to have to think about taking him out of the game. But fortunately, Hermida really the only guy working those long at-bats, even though he hasn't had the payoff at the end.
One and two to Ramirez.
Gio wants it down and in. The pitch is down and away. Has to reach across his body a little bit, but that pitch is still on the plate. Colbreth gives him the call.
Nobody in baseball has scored more runs since 2006 than Hanley Ramirez. A whopping 377 runs. Pitch counting, fine shape. Who wanted to get at least 7 good innings from Lilly with a bullpen that's been busy. David Patton got his first major league win yesterday. 2 scoreless innings of relief to keep the Cubs in it.
Sure if Ramirez was walking away because he thought he just called strike 3 or what the situation was there. And that breaking ball clearly outside, never does get back to the corner. Ramirez started to head toward that first base dugout, then took an about face and has his toe hold back in the box.
Huge crowd here at Wrigley Field, and Cub fans have enjoyed this one. Cubs got 3 right off the bat. They lead 6-1 in the 6th. Deep breath by Lilly, and the pitch. Ramirez still alive.
Bonifacio's having a little trouble reading Ted Lilly over there at first base. That time he really shortened up his lead. He was only about a step and a half off the bag at first. He was creeping toward second base, and because of that, Ted Lilly held the ball until Bonifacio came to a complete stop.
The next pitch, called strike 3.
Now he can walk back to the dugout. That's the one Ted was trying to throw earlier in the sequence. It was just off the outside corner. This time he scoots it over a little bit, drops it right on the corner for a called strike 3.
He's tied his season high with 8 strikeouts. Bonifacio still at first after a couple of strikeouts. Cantu looks at ball 1. It's 4-1 Washington over the Cardinals in the 8th. Colby Rasmus with his first home run. Fly ball to deep right. Wind pushing it back, but Hoffpower is going to have room, and that'll end the inning. Leadoff single, no runs. Cubs 6, Marlins 1. Win or go home time for the Bulls as Derrick Rose and company battle Ray Allen and the Celtics. A Game 7 showdown in Boston. Coverage starts with Bulls pregame live. Bulls Celtics Game 7 tonight at 7 on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend. Big day of sports action here on Comcast Sportsnet. We're in the last of the 6th as the Cubs try to get back over 500. Came in at 11 up, 11 down, 5-5 at home. Playing the Eastern leading Florida Marlins up the middle, but Ramirez was shaded that way, and he'll throw out Terrio. Coming up a little bit later, a 7th inning stretch conducted by Peter Cetera, former lead singer of Chicago. He's from here. He's been a solo artist for a long time. Paul Peter is a big baseball fan, so enjoy talking to him. I have a feeling I'm not criticizing, and we enjoyed our conversation with Denise Richards. She was a lot of fun. She laughed a lot, taking a little heat for being very off key yesterday, but she had fun with it. I think Peter will probably hit most of the notes. He does that for a living.
Pretty much, yeah. Although he won't have a horn section behind him today, just Gary Pressey on the organ.
2-1 on Kosuke. Denise's problem was she started too high in pitch, and that's when people get in trouble.
If you ever get invited to sing the stretch, the advice is low and slow. Always start a little bit lower than you think you should, and always go a little bit slower than you think you should. And really, after the first word, just turn it over to the 40,000 in attendance here at Wrigley Field. Best backup singers in the world.
3-2 to Kosuke. A fly to left. Hermida will slide. Good attempt, but he didn't get it. It's foul. That's really textbook over in that area. You don't want to go head first into the wall.
Now, this is what you see corner outfielders and infielders do when they get close to the barrier. No matter what ballpark you're playing in, you go in feet first, try to use your feet and your legs to protect yourself against that wall.
I thought Hermida was safe. Close call.
Of course, unless you're Reed Johnson, and then you go face first right into the wall.
Ground ball to the second baseman, Bonifacio. Short toss to Cantu. Booming home run for Derek Lee his last time up.
We'll show you this now because that ball is just now landed. He absolutely mashed that ball. First one we've seen leave the friendly confines this season by a Cubs hitter.
Knee-high strike on a heater. 0-2. Penn, a fifth-round pick of the Orioles in 2002. Jim Palmer, minor league pitcher of the year in that organization 5 years ago. Born in Santee, California. Came over from the Orioles in the offseason. His 1-2 pitch to Lee. Steve Bauer.
Never know, Len. I'll tell you, as you know, the Cubs didn't take batting practice on the field today. Some of the guys went down to the cage to get a little optional hitting in. We'll finish that later.
And they've scored 6 runs.
Yeah,
without regular batting practice. 6-1 to the 7th. Ronnie Paulino smacks the first offering from Ted Lilly for a base hit. 6-1 Cubs in the 7th. They have one extra base hit. That was the Ross solo homer in the 5th. The other 4 knocks have been singles. Helms for the 3rd time. If the Marlins draw close late, we have not heard about the availability of Dan Uggla, who was a late scratch because of tightness in his left hamstring. You'd think he'd be able to at least swing the bat, but it may not even come to that. The Cubs can hold him the rest of the way. Fly ball to deep left center. Kosuke's back on the warning track. He's going to leap. He caught it right in front of the 368. Nicely done. You don't see a lot of leaping catches up against the vines in this ballpark. You have the basket overhang. You can't do it better than that.
Great judgment by Kosuke. You really have to use that warning track. That's a split-second decision whether to attempt that leaping catch up against the vines or back off the wall and play the carom. And that time Kosuke made a good decision and a good play.
That's a big out, because if they don't get it, well, maybe the Cubs get somebody up in the bullpen. 2 on, no outs. Ross went very deep, almost completely out of the park. His home run back in the 5th. Bounces it foul. Checked on the home run hit by Colby Rasmus today in Washington. That was his first career homer. Probably hit many for the Cardinals over the years, but they still trail. It's 5-1 in the 8th. So a chance here for the Cubs to get within 4 in the division. Just missed outside. 2-2. Dan Meyer is up in the Florida pen. Swing and a miss. Strike 3.
Hey fans, meet the team, have a ball, presented by Bank of America, is on Wednesday, May 13th at 2:30 in the afternoon. Collect autographs on an authentic MLB baseball from the 2009 Cubs players and coaches in attendance. Limited tickets are available for $300 each. Proceeds benefit Cubs designated charities. To purchase tickets, call 773-404-CUBS.
Cameron Maybin batting with 2 outs. We're getting ready for the stretch. Peterson. And whoops. Yeah. That's a balk. And Ronnie Paulino is being told by his base coach, Andy Fox, to head to second. I don't think anybody really called it because it was so obvious. It's a second balk by Lilly today. You can't hesitate.
Not sure what that was all about. It almost looked like Ted Lilly heard somebody call timeout in the middle of his delivery and just decided to stop, and then realized if I do that it's going to be a balk. So then he tried to lob it onto Giovanni Soto, but couldn't get away with it.
Line and caught by Derek Lee. Time for the stretch.
This conductor for Take Me Out to the Ball Game is Grammy Award-winning singer and songwriter Peter Cetera.
Won't miss the action. The Cubs will battle the Giants at 120. Lucky seat winners will be awarded great prizes throughout the game. No purchase necessary. For more info, visit Cubs.com. Great baseball fan with us, Grammy winner, Chicago native Peter Cetera. Nicely done as always.
Thank you. Thank you.
You've got the Ron Santo autographed jersey.
I finally got it signed from him.
Yeah.
I told him. I should have told him. We're sooner or later we'll both get in the Hall of Fame.
That's right. Yeah. I have not been, and I should have gone. I've been to Cleveland a couple of times. The Indians are coming here. I still have not been to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I would love to go. I've heard it's pretty cool.
It's cool. There's a lot more memorabilia in some of the Hard Rock cafes.
Yeah.
If you ever have a chance to go to London, that's the one.
Yeah, the great one downtown Chicago. You walk in, you see Jimi Hendrix guitar.
Yeah.
It's 3-1 on Micah Hoffpower. What's going on, Peter?
I'm in town. I have a show tomorrow where I'm doing the benefit for Carey's Fund. And it's out at CD&Me out in Frankfurt. So a friend of mine I went to high school with, his daughter was one of the victims of the Lane Bryant things. And they have put together a fund for her, and they use the money for continuing education for disadvantaged youth in the trade schools and whatever. So it's a good cause, and it's we'll see everybody out there tomorrow.
That is a great cause. Joey Gathright will run for Hoffpower after the leadoff walk. Here's Fontenot.
Last time I was here, I think we scored 7 or 8. I think.
That's right. Yeah, that was a big inning. Cubs already leading by 5. And just a gorgeous day to be at the ballpark. Spring is finally here.
Yeah, I see a few of the ivy peeking, peeking out.
Yeah, pitcher and catcher getting together.
Excuse me, Len. I got to ask you, Peter. I saw something on the internet, and now we know that you can't take everything for sure. A story that you got in a brawl at a Dodger game in 1969.
Ernie Banks was batting. Yeah, we went to a Dodger game because when we had just moved out to LA, and of course, big Cub fan, and some Marines from Camp Pendleton out there didn't like long hair, I think, and they took it out on my jaw and my It was last thing I remember was Ernie Banks coming to bat, and sang with a brace on my teeth for a couple of months, and but thank you so much, Bob. If I can ever pay you back, I certainly will.
Good memories. Good memories. Yeah,
I love it.
That's a 60s,
Yes.
And Gathright out.
Right off the bag.
He slid past second base and is caught.
Right off the bag.
Yep, that's too bad. Joey Gathright had so much momentum going into second base there, he just couldn't hold the bag. Had a blast right through the base, had his hand on momentarily, but in the estimation of Jim Wolf down there at second base, he came off just enough.
So the 1-1 to Fontenot's swing and the miss. It is 1-2. You've worked with a lot of the greats throughout the years. What's the most memorable duet you've done, or guitar player, anyone that you've worked with that just was especially satisfying for you?
Back in the day, when I was with Chicago, we toured with Hendrix. Hendrix took us as his opening group.
Oh, wow.
And that's pretty memorable. I actually did a song with Madonna, and one would think just the opposite. She was sweet and funny and lovely, and so you can never tell. And it's always a thrill to meet. I'm just as starstruck as the next person. And when I meet sports people or singers or anything, I'm just like anybody else. It's a thrill to meet them, and you hope they're nice.
Oh, sure. Well, we had you up in the booth the last time. We were both struck by just how down to earth you are, and that's a Midwestern thing, I think, Peter. People they know. You meet somebody from Chicago or Joliet or Des Moines, you can just tell that Midwestern politeness.
I think so. You know, you walk down Michigan Avenue on a crowded Saturday. Well, you know, you walk down the street there, and it's just, you know, it wouldn't happen anywhere else. You know,
right. You're
everybody's
right.
friendly and.
Well, have a great event.
Hey, thank you,
so
guys.
Good to see you, Peter.
I'll see you guys tomorrow.
You got it.
And.
Stays in and plays center. Ted Lilly still pitching. And Alfredo Amezaga is batting for the pitcher Penn. Just a little subtle thing. This won't mean anything to Cub fans necessarily, but Freddie Gonzalez is going to be really happy with Hayden Penn today. I mean, their team may not win this game. They're down 5. But that's a manager's dream on kind of a nightmare day with his team down big. He gave him 3 scoreless innings.
Yeah, when your starter gets blown up early in the ball game like that, you immediately start thinking about what roster moves can we make after the game to get more pitching up here, because I'm going to have to empty my bullpen today. And you're right, Penn did a nice job. Kosuke Fukudome moving from center to right. It's the first ball hit right to him.
If you're traveling and can't watch your Cubs on TV, you can always catch the game on your computer with MLB.tv. It's the ultimate baseball experience, featuring 100 out-of-market games per week live on your computer, and catch those you missed on demand. For more details, visit Cubs.com, where baseball is always on.
Well, if Freddie Gonzalez is happy with Hayden Penn, you know Lou Piniella is ecstatic with Ted Lilly today.
No doubt.
Was hoping to get 7 strong innings out of his left-hander. Here he is pitching into the 8th with a lead. Just exactly what the doctor ordered. I didn't mean to bring up bad memories for Peter Cetera. I just had that little note about an incident that happened at a Dodger game.
Well, he handled it well. The internet was right, apparently. Oh, good guy, Peter Cetera. That's a great part of our job, that we get to interview the 7th inning stretch guest singers, but just to hear that voice, it's such a recognizable voice. Sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." It's fun. One, 2. Bonifacio lining right at Kosuke. 2 outs. Opening day starters tomorrow. Nolasco and Zambrano. Lou was asked during his meeting with reporters today about the Greg Maddux, Fergie Jenkins day, and how Z's going to be emotionally. It's going to be amped up. Going to be a lot of energy in the ballpark. Great pregame ceremony.
Big Z amped up. Speaking of Lou Piniella, this is somewhat of an anniversary for him for our this day in baseball history. Back in 1976, when Lou was playing for the Yankees against the Red Sox, and you may remember this, had a collision at home plate with Carlton Fisk that quickly escalated into a benches clearing brawl. Greg Nettles, Bill Lee from the Boston Red Sox, they got after it so badly that Bill Lee had a separated shoulder. When they finally separated the teams, Bill Lee came out of the pack with his arm dragging on the ground. And it wasn't your typical square dance. There were some blows being thrown and landed in that one. But it all started with the skipper sliding into Carlton Fisk at home plate.
Did you get a chance to ask him about it?
I didn't see it until I came upstairs, but I'll remind him of it later. If you think he's a fiery manager, should have checked him out as a player.
Two and two on Hermida with Hanley Ramirez on deck, fouled back.
You know, that particular period, the mid to late 70s, the Yankees and the Red Sox, I mean, it had been a rivalry for years, no question about it. But that period of time, those guys genuinely disliked each other. You almost got the feeling that, you know, playing a ball game was just a precursor to getting out there and throwing some fists.
Into a fight, the baseball game broke out. Hermida has struck out 4 times. Lilly has hit 10 on the day. He has been in total command throughout. Make it 2 in a row and earn at least a split in this series and a chance to win the series tomorrow. Kiko Calero is on for the Marlins, facing Aaron Miles, Carlos Zambrano, and Alfonso Soriano. Well, Z didn't pitch today. He's going to bat for Ted Lilly. Miles skies to right. One out is Cody Ross. Gathers it in. If you've never been to Wrigley Field or been 1,000 times, a guided tour of the friendly confines is something for everyone. Each tour includes visits to places like the press box, clubhouses, dugouts, and much more. Tours are available on select dates throughout the season. Tickets are $25. A portion of the proceeds benefit Cubs designated charities. For more info or to purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com. Good hand for Z. This is 3 in a row, right, for Z? As a pinch hitter, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
0-2.
Draws a reaction from the crowd here at Wrigley. Fastball up and in. That is the one thing you're a little concerned about. Sending one of your aces up there to pinch hit. We know Carlos can hit, but can he get out of the way of a fastball up and in? Can he run the bases without blowing a hamstring?
The fans don't like it when he's being treated like a hitter. And yeah, it's probably not a bad idea to throw inside on an 0-2 to a power hitter like Carlos. But remember, he gets the pitch tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
Swing and a miss. Strike 3. But you know what? The fans got on their feet. And he gets the Billy Williams treatment. Billy's famous story about Billy Williams Day. And he got a big hand. I think he was trying to hit for the cycle. And he struck out. Got a standing ovation. Brings up Soriano with 2 outs and nobody on there. And Heilman will pitch the 9th. The 8-inning start for Ted Lilly, the longest outing by a Cubs starter this season. Nobody previously to today had gone beyond 7.
Masterful performance by Ted Lilly today. Did not walk a Marlins batter. Struck out 10. In command from the first pitch of the game until they came out for the pinch hitter.
Calero is tied for the major league lead with 13 appearances coming in. Maben has a long way to go, and he won't get there in time as Soriano has his second hit in 5 trips.
It's just instinct for an outfielder. When you see a big power hitter like Soriano take a full swing, your first instinct is to freeze in your tracks, and that time Soriano hit the ball off the end of the bat. It got out there in shallow left center and just died in front of Maben.
It's over in D.C. 6-1 Nationals. Shiron Martis is now 3-0. He went the distance on a 5-hitter. Ryan Zimmerman in that game with a first inning double, extending his hitting streak to 21 games. That's the longest streak this year in the major leagues. Two games going on, early games in the American League, and the Angels lead at New York 5-1 in the bottom of the 7th. Tie game in Toronto. The Orioles and the Blue Jays 3-3 in the 8th. Adam Jones with his 5th home run for Baltimore. Danny Baez is back. Missed all of last year with Tommy John surgery. Pitching well for the Orioles. He's in there right now in relief. Foul tip. 2-2.
Big swing that time from Terry. That's the one concern you have with a guy who's not normally a home run hitter, that gets in a stretch where he's feeling pretty good and seeing the ball at the plate and getting big results. The grand slam yesterday, the 2-run homer today, and start over swinging.
And I think Ryan has a really good idea of the balance. You know, Lou talked about driving the ball with runners on base, the opportunity to knock people in. His main function as a 2-hitter in this lineup is to get on for the guys in the middle. But lately he's been driving in the leadoff man, Soriano.
Well, as we've seen so many times, not only this season, but throughout the history of the game, just because you're the number 2 hitter in the lineup doesn't mean you're not going to come up to the plate with runners at second and third, bases loaded, whatever the case may be.
He went around, according to Field and Culbreth, to end the inning. Here comes the 9th. Heilman will try to close it out. Cubs lead by 5.
Working today, the return of the big overhand curveball was a very effective pitch for him. And not only on the mound, but he contributed at the plate as well. A big 2 RBI double off the wall in right field. Ted Lilly, our Lexus pursuing perfection player of the game.
So it's Heilman in a non-save spot after the starter went 8 very strong innings. Ramirez, Cantu, and Paulino representing the last chance for Florida. One ball, no strikes. Heilman, a rare short reliever, works from the windup. hit foul. Hopefully it doesn't come up. And that Heilman stays ahead of the hitters, but the Cubs relief corps has walked collectively 49 batters, most in the majors. It's been the biggest issue for the bullpen. Hopefully that'll get sorted out. Lilly didn't walk anybody to go along with his 10 punch-outs. Swing and a miss. Good start to the ninth for Heilman. The Felco Cubs upcoming schedule. Next off day won't be until a week from Monday after the next road trip. We'll be back with you here on Comcast Sportsnet Tuesday afternoon against the Giants.
That's the Lincecum game, I believe. Tim Lincecum. And granted, it was a Cactus League game, but the Cubs really banged around the Giants right-hander down in spring training this year. Well, and one thing that might kind of get lost in the shuffle in the ball game today with the great performance by Ted Lilly, the home run by Theriot and Derek Lee. Micah Hoffpauir with a solid game, not only at the plate, went 2 for 3, scored a run, drew a walk, but some nice defensive plays in the outfield. He was obviously a little upset with some of the plays that Micah made earlier in the season. Said he was going to go with his best defensive team, but as the ball club was struggling offensively, Micah's a guy you like to have in there against right-handed pitching, and the fact that he was able to man his position in right field effectively today, make all the plays and make some spectacular plays, he figures to get some more playing time.
2 outs in the ninth. That's what you're talking about.
And this is not an accident. This is the result of a lot of hard work out there. Mike Quade hitting a lot of fly balls, a lot of fungos to his right, to his left, over his head, in front of him.
Yeah, Micah said it's not for lack of effort after that game in which he struggled. Paulino with 2 outs. 40,083 in the ballpark today. It's going to be a lot of fun tomorrow. Greg Maddux and Fergie Jenkins will be together on the field as their number 31 will be retired before the game. 2-1. To their final strike. The 2-2 pitch, got him. Heilman strikes out the side. Cubs win. The final today, Cubs 6, Marlins 1. Sing.
Baseball season.